Hello everyone. Today we are going to work on this. When we go into this character, we get this x to y, this choices, and last time we didn't have the ability to select one of the choices. So now I'm going to implement that today. So let's select y. So other options disappear and the selected choice remains for a while and goes back. So and we get the control back. So let me show it again. That's what we are going to work on today. So once we get the dialog, all the inputs are disabled for the player. So player system, we can't walk around when we have a choice. We have to make a choice. Okay, so let's see how to do that today. And this episode is sponsored by this generous patron. Thank you very much for your support. Right, so far in the dialog system, when we go here closer to the character, we get this one to talk, two to ignore. So we get this sort of choices. So still nothing happens, just pop up the choices, that's all happens. So now I'm going to implement inputs on that action. That means how to select a particular choice, and then when I select it, what happens. That's what I'm going to implement now. Okay, first let me open the widget. WDG choices. Here I'll add a new function to select one of the choices. Custom event select. And as an input, I'll add the integer parameter. Let's call it choice index. So here we already have these choices in the RT choices array. Again, let's run a for each loop. Through all of these RT choices objects, text objects. So actually I'm going to hide all other choices except the player selected choice, and after a while I'm gonna hide that too, so that player has time to read what is the choice he made. So here get parent. First I need to check the index. If the index is not equal to the choice index, we can hide it. Set visibility hidden. And after that, can we add a delay? Yeah, let's add a 1 second delay, and after that get whatever the selected item using this index, and get parent and set visibility hidden. Oh, well, actually we can remove this widget itself from the this entire widget itself. Actually we don't really need to hide just the selected choice. So remove from parent cell. That should do. Okay, now how to select one? In here, code like me HUD. Wait. Let's go to the player controller. Should be here. And just like these events, these input events, add choice 0, choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. So these events should not be consumed. And when player is presented with the reason to create these events within the player controller is because I'm going to disable inputs when the player is presented with selection, with the decision making UI. So therefore we can't really use the inputs in the player character blueprint. So that's why I implemented these choice input actions in the player controller. Okay, so when I press choice 0, I have to call choice 0 through the HUD, but for that we need to define an interface event. Select choice. Is that a good name? Yeah, that should do. And I'll add in parameter choice index. Compile. Now here we can, just like this, we can use get HUD. Select choice 0 for choice 0 input and 1 for choice 1 input. Similarly, 2 and 3 accordingly. Okay, so now in the HUD, let's implement that event select choice. So we should only pass this into the widget choice if it is added to the viewport. That means that means only if we already have presented with the choice in choice UI. Yes, valid. And also is in viewport. Both these conditions should be true. Then only we can call select function. With this given index. Right, now let's see if the choice works. Yeah, it works. Now let's disable the player inputs, because when we have the choice, player can even move around as well. Let me show you that. See, player can still walk away and we still have the choice. We need to prevent that. So to do that, we have this show choice. Here we need to set UI input mode, and we have created this function here in the widget itself. So what it does is it set the input mode to game and UI and disable the input on player character. But still, right, now let's see. Oh, wait a minute. So since I have disabled the input while we had the movement input, player is moving indefinitely. So how to fix that input problem? So here the movement works based on this get desired velocity here. So when we disable inputs, this if we previously get 1 in this move forward value, we would continue to get 1. We would continue to get the previously received value when we disable the input. So we might need another multiplier here. How should we implement it? We have character movement. Also we have this character. Okay, here let's implement this movement, or we can just add a function called disable input, but that could make a contradiction with this default function. Where is it? This is also disable input. We might need to have a different name. Disable player. Now let's call toggle input. Right, and as an input, enable. Okay, this is better. Now here, where? In the event graph. Let's implement toggle input. If true, what we have to do is whatever we do here, this is we need to do this for false, we need to do this for true. Okay, so here disable input, target could be self. Oh, this should be connected for false. For the true, we need to have enable input. Target is self. Right, now let's just give the player character and call toggle input with true here, and here toggle input with the false. This should do the same thing. Let's see. Okay, inputs are disabled, but we need to do one thing to prevent continuing to get 1 as the moment. Here let's add a boolean variable, duplicate this, input enabled, set input enabled with whatever the value we receive here, and by default this should set to true if this is the player controlled character. So possessed, when the character is possessed we should set this to true, and unpossessed we should set this to false. I am not using possess and unpossessed anywhere, I think, for the moment, but we might need to use it later. Right, and here get desired velocity, branch, if input enabled, this is the response, if not return 0. See, now it is working. Let's try again. Okay, now the character stops here, and now when I selected, let's say I want to select 3 attack, so choice is selected, but still the inputs are disabled. So how can I re-enable it? Okay, so to re-enable choice inputs, here when player make choice, after choice is made, I'll again set game input mode. Okay, so now I got the mouse appeared as well, but we have to select only using 1, 2, 3, 4. If I press 3, now again I can control the character. And as for the choice we made, nothing happens yet. We will look into that in a later episode, but before that let me plug my controller and see if I get the see if I get the XY. Oh, something is wrong. X is okay, Y is okay, B is okay, and the final one is not okay. What did I have here? 4 shoot. What's wrong with that? Choice. Four. I need to debug this get input keys VPI controller. Get input keys. Alright, here we have this get key label, active input device, input key and key label, Xbox map. Here we have to add face button right, face button down as a. Now it should work without any issue. Let's try. Not down, face button bottom. Right. Now we got XYAB. XYBA. Alright, so let me select A. Okay, we selected one of the choices and we can move again now. Alright, I'm gonna stop this episode right here, and thanks for watching. So the project files will be available for the download in Patreon page, link would be in the description below, and if you like to support my work you can get the membership of the Patreon club. In next time, let's see how to actually do something and how to integrate it with the AI of the NPC character, this dialogue system. And goodbye.